2026 is a massive year for Xbox, and we're going to get more than just the big games that are going to be releasing. So I've talked about this before. As we know, this is a big year, and we're getting 4 massive games right now that we know of, plus Kiln, which is another one that was added at the Xbox Developer Direct. So right now, first party wise, we're going to be fed tons of games to jump into and play. But games aren't the only way that I think Xbox is going to be celebrating the 25th anniversary. We're getting more of a glimpse into the future of Xbox with the PC console hybrid. UI updates are going to be coming. We're already seeing it happen with the cloud, which is going to be transferred over, I believe, to the console going forward. And there's going to be a lot of stuff that gives us a glimpse into what we can expect once we officially get the next Xbox console, when we start officially getting OEM consoles from different manufacturers, all of those things. We're going to get a glimpse into the future. And we have an article here from The Verge and Tom Warren talking about what Xbox is working on here for 2026. It's pretty exciting. There's lots of stuff, lots of games, and then there is some more hardware, some peripherals, things like that, which will have people pretty excited looking forward, especially if these updates bring some nice changes that people have been asking for. Now, Kiln was a game that was shown off at the Xbox Developer Direct. It was the first time that we did end up seeing this game, and there's going to be a beta test and all of that for it, but we don't have a release date for it. They didn't give us that information. It says here, outside of the big 4, I understand Double Fine is also preparing to launch its new Kiln game in April. So April will be the first party Xbox game for the 25th anniversary with Kiln, followed obviously by Forza Horizon 6, which will be the massive one, landing in May. So that's very exciting. We've heard about Starfield, talked a little bit about this yesterday. Starfield coming over to the Nintendo Switch 2, I think makes a lot of sense, but as of right now, apparently it's been pushed back or potentially just canceled. We don't know yet, but coming to the PS5 should be no issue. I think with the Switch 2, you're having to do more optimization, so it's harder. And he says here that I wouldn't be surprised if we also hear about a PS5 version of Starfield years after it was first rumored. And one of the things that we have seen is that it's listed for August 7th or April 7th, I should say. So that I think could coincide with a big update for the game. Maybe we're going to get a nice DLC for Starfield at the same time that it does end up launching on the PlayStation 5. So April could be a big month here for first party Xbox content, if that's what you're looking forward to. And then that's really where everything kicks off going into May and beyond, where we're going to be getting the other games as well. Blizzard, of course, now part of Xbox, they're going to have a huge year as well. 35th anniversary. They're having a series of showcases with World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and Diablo. And then we already saw what's going on with Overwatch 2. They're dropping the 2. They're revamping the game. It's just going to be called Overwatch, new heroes, new maps, and everything. And that's also going to be coming out. All of that, we always kind of forget, is a part of Xbox, and that's there. Fallout 3 Remaster. We've heard about this for a while. It was in the FTC documents in 2023. But we haven't heard really anything else for that. I felt like with the Fallout Season 2 and the TV show, Xbox would have wanted a Fallout game releasing alongside that. They weren't able to get that out. Fallout 3 Remaster would have been perfect because it would have been a nice entry for a lot of people to get into the series. And you saw it uptick with Fallout 4 when the first season did come out. And even recently with Fallout 4 when Season 2 dropped, player engagement was very high on Xbox. So I was shocked that they didn't have anything new. But I still think we could see something coming out with the Fallout 3 Remaster. It says Tuesday, many fans were hoping a countdown website was hinting at the Fallout 3 Remaster. And you go here, this is Fallout Explorer, and it's from Amazon Studios and everything. And people are hoping that, yeah, this could be a Fallout 3 Remaster tease. The game we know is still in development, but we don't really know anything else besides that. Last year, we did get the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. It was a shadow drop. Game sold extremely well. And I would think because of that, Xbox is looking at how that game did go and how they didn't have to do a big marketing campaign. They just kind of dropped it out there because it's a known IP and a known game that it sold very well across all the platforms it released on. Maybe they're thinking about Fallout 3 as they could do the same thing with it. I feel like the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion is bigger, but Fallout 3 was also a big game, and it really, really needs an update. Like, that game would benefit so much from a nice remaster and a revamped controllers, frame rate, all of that, I think it would do huge for the game. So if they shadow drop Fallout 3, I do believe that game would also be successful. Now, beyond the games, this is where things do get interesting because we haven't heard too much of what we're going to be seeing beyond the games. And he says here that the release of the Xbox Ally handhelds from Asus last year marked a new effort to bring Windows and Xbox closer together. And this model of third-party devices now looks like the future of Xbox hardware and software. Microsoft is working on several improvements to the Xbox full screen experience that powers the Xbox Ally devices. Not shocking, we already know about that. This one's really exciting. The automatic super resolution feature, which uses an MPU to upscale games. I think that's going to be huge for the longevity of the handheld. And that's set to be coming out in the coming months for the Xbox Ally X. And they're also planning to use an MPU inside the Xbox Ally X launched a new highlight reel feature that uses AI models to automatically capture gameplay and make it easy to share the footage on social media. One of the interesting things about this is that these features, these AI features that make the games run better and give you some things like the reels, those will all be on the next Xbox. You can pretty much bet that they're going to utilize all of this. And the Ally X is probably like that test piece of hardware to see how it runs and see how people do enjoy it. They also say here that an improved Xbox PC UI is also being developed based on changes that Microsoft has been testing in the new desktop mode for Xbox Cloud Gaming, something that you can go and test out right now if you'd like. And I think it's really nice. I think they actually did a very good job. It's sleeker. There isn't too much on there. It runs smoothly. So bringing that over to the PC app, I'm absolutely all for. I find the PC app okay, but it's a little bit slow at times, especially when it's launching, and it definitely needs to be streamlined a little bit better. So if they can bring over what they've shown off for cloud gaming with more improvements, I can't wait to see that happening. They also mentioned that it features a floating Xbox guide interface and smooth animations, and expect to see this UI unified across Xbox consoles, PC, and cloud. As I've been saying for a while, that's what they're going for. They're going for that unified vision. So the current console user interface, that's going away. They're going to go with something like we see with the updated cloud gaming user interface. And they're going to add to it. I don't think it's going to be one-to-one right now. They're going to continue to add features, settings, all of that has to be integrated. And that's where 2026 is a massive year. Are they going to have all of that ready for the launch of the next Xbox console, which already has been leaked basically by AMD that it is coming in 2027. Lisa Su herself actually said this during her conference, that development of Microsoft's next next-gen console featuring an AMD semi-custom SoC is progressing well to support a launch in 2027. So they've given it away during the earnings call that that's when this is coming. You can expect it in holiday of 2027. This has been in development for years. We've already heard about the partnerships and everything. 2027 is when that should be launching. Now, the next thing people I think have been asking for, wanting to know about, is will we finally get a new Xbox controller? And Tom Warren here is saying that we will. He says, I'm hearing that Microsoft has greenlit the next-gen Xbox controllers that include Wi-Fi connectivity to reduce Xbox cloud gaming latency. We've heard about that for a while. That's something they have been working on. And they say a new Xbox controller was originally planned for 2024 alongside a canceled Xbox Series X refresh. And Windows Central expects an Xbox Elite Controller Series 3 to debut in 2026, which would align with a rollout of the next-gen Xbox controller. So that's interesting. They're going to be releasing the next-gen Xbox controllers before they actually release the next-gen Xbox console. And the reason they can do that is because they're focusing on cloud gaming. They want that connectivity with it, with the Wi-Fi, with the less lag. So they're going to release that first, sounds like, and then it'll be packed in with the next gen Xbox console. So 2026 for the controller side will be interesting. The Elite Series 2 is a phenomenal controller. There are some major issues with it, though, that they hopefully have fixed with the Elite Series 3, and that is the bumpers. You've seen a lot of issues with that, which have been very, very annoying. The triggers also have had issues, and there's just no room for a controller that feels that premium and is expensive to have actual hardware issues on it itself. You've seen a lot of people complain about it. I even had some, I believe, right bumper issues with my Halo Infinite Xbox Elite Series 2 controller. It's very disappointing. You've been able to go in there and fix it and stuff, but hopefully all of that gets worked out with the Series 3. We don't have to worry about that anymore, and that the actual fail rate of some of the buttons are not nearly high at all. So that's a major thing I'm looking for. And then of course other additional features added into it that I'm sure they're going to make the controller have less lag, better connectivity, even though it's fine right now, and then maybe some additional buttons and stuff that will be used with the next generation Xbox console. Now, he does mention here, the new controllers connect directly to Xbox Cloud Gaming to help boost Microsoft's Game Pass numbers and complement plans for the free ad-supported access to cloud games, and that they're getting close to testing the free Xbox Cloud Gaming streaming with Xbox insiders ahead of its broader rollout this year. You see people complaining about this. I don't know why. It's free. You don't need to use it. There's going to be ads. How else do you expect companies to give you free stuff unless they're monetizing it in some way or another? It's a business, so they're going to be ads in there, but it's free. So I don't see where the complaint for that does come. They say, while the free Xbox Cloud Gaming won't be a new Game Pass tier, sources tell me Microsoft is in the early stages of exploring ways to expand its Game Pass subscription lineup. After the hike in October, says, I understand that Microsoft is looking at ways to bundle third-party services with Game Pass subscriptions and potentially even merge Xbox Game Pass Premium and PC Game Pass together, which would be interesting because PC Game Pass actually is getting better games. They get newer games before they land on premium. So if they're both together, then you're getting the same features and the same games all at the same time, which I think needs to happen, especially because premium is on the console, and the console players should have that access to the PC Game Pass stuff that is coming out with the price difference and everything. Says he wouldn't expect to see any major changes to Game Pass this year though. And then Microsoft already added PC games to its various Xbox Game Pass subscriptions in October. And he says here, with the dedicated PC Game Pass subscription rising by nearly 40% to cover the cost of day one releases, Microsoft is still seeing growth in PC Game Pass subscriptions, which, not shocking. I said that this was going to happen. People were all losing their minds about the price raise, which I don't support. I don't like the price raise. However, thinking that there was going to be a mass exodus from Game Pass and that they were just going to crumble and fall and the subscription service was going to shut down made no sense. What I think probably has happened here with Game Pass is that, yes, people have canceled the Ultimate. There has been a certain amount of people who were subscribed to the $20 a month, canceled it. And that is easily made up for the people that stayed subscribed to Ultimate at the $30 a month, or a lot of people probably just downgraded to Premium or PC Game Pass, and those have all grown, which easily makes up for the amount of people that left. And I feel like that's where we're seeing Game Pass right now. They're still growing. It's still fine. And the reality is, a lot of people still just buy Ultimate for less than $30 because you can still get the codes and everything that are out there. I know for me, I don't think I've paid $30 yet because of that. So either way, it's going to be a big year besides the games. I think the updating controllers is a massive thing. I think Elite Series 3 update, because it's been so long, will be a big moment, and we'll see what they're able to do here, how it differs, how it's better, all of that. And then the next gen Xbox controller, does it make playing cloud gaming better for people? Because I use cloud gaming, I think it's great, but I don't really ever use it with an Xbox controller on my PC or on my console. I'm generally using cloud gaming with my mobile controllers on my phone or with my cloud handheld. That's where I use the most of it. So we'll see how those controllers take off, and how many people actually use cloud gaming. It'll be interesting to see that, how many people use it on a browser versus a console versus mobile. All that will be interesting to see. So huge year for Xbox. I just want to talk about this because this is what we can expect here on top of the games. Some nice announcements, some updates, and a future look at what we're going to be getting once the 2027 console does launch. But on the video there, if you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Bye.